Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. I watched a very interesting, rather sort of unexpected interview with Derek Chisora. This was on BoxNation channel. I think this interview actually has gone out on several different platforms, several different, channels. But it was Derek talking to, what's the guy's name? Not Dev Sandwich, the other fella. What the fuck's his name? Is it Umar? Anyway, it's one of these talking heads with a microphone. And Derek was talking about his upcoming fight with Otto Wallin, and his phone rings. And he looks at it, and he tries to answer. It's a bad reception, so he gets cut off. So he phones back, and who's he talking to? None other than Dillian Whyte. And they're very, very chummy. They're very pally. All right, bro, how you doing, bro? And bro this and bro that and bro the other. And, yeah, considering they'd knocked, lumps out of each other for, was it 12 rounds? Was the first one 12 rounds, wasn't it? And then Derek got knocked out in the 10th with that massive left hook from Dillian in the rematch. But they're on good terms. And apparently Dillian had helped out one of Derek's, I don't know whether it's a relative of his or a friend of his, some young fighter, and he just wanted to thank Dillian for that. He'd contacted him the previous week, and he just said, "Look, you did us a favour." And Dillian says, "Well, no worries, he's a good fighter, he's good talent. I'm just helping out where I can," and it was all very chummy. And then there was, I couldn't quite make out exactly what was said because the reception wasn't great. You could hear Derek speaking, but you couldn't really hear Dillian very clearly. And Dillian said there was something about, let's have a third match. Because, of course, Derek he's having his last fight in Britain against Wallin. And then he's hoping to have one, I think. It's over in Africa somewhere, I think, wherever his roots are. And they seem to be sort of skirting around the idea of maybe having a third fight. Whyte and Chisora, maybe that would be Derek's 50th and final. And also the opportunity for Derek to get some revenge, because the first fight, both those fights were tremendous between Derek and Dillian. But the first fight, a lot of people thought Derek won that. It was very, very close, very close. And definitely both guys were rocked seriously. Now, Dillian, I think, has looked, or for some time now, has looked kind of brittle around the chin. He's a fighting man, no doubt about it. I've got a lot of time for Dillian Whyte. I've enjoyed watching his career, but he's failed a couple of tests, hasn't he? But yeah, the guy's a warrior, but he does not look like he has good punch resistance anymore. It's probably not so much the career as he's been knocked flat 3 times, hasn't he, with uppercuts, but it's probably all those sparring sessions, all those long camps that he did. He's a kind of a gym rat. He had a bit of a kickboxing career, I think, before the boxing career. And whereas Derek, of course, Jesus Christ, he must have about 500,000 miles on the clock if he was a car, and yet he's still chugging along. He's not what he was, but what a tough, unbelievably tough man. That Joe Joyce fight, Jesus Christ. So I'll be honest with you, in a rematch, I'd probably favour Derek. So if I was, and Derek was kind of saying, "Oh, you've kicked my ass twice. What do you want to beat me up again for? I'm 41. He's like 36, Dillian, and Derek's 41. Oh, you're going to want to beat up an old man." But I tell you what, he was being probably a little bit falsely modest there. I tell you what, I bet you he wouldn't mind getting Whyte in the ring again one more time. And be honest with you, it'd be a fun fight, wouldn't it? While it lasted. Because if you look at Dillian against Ebenezer Tete, that was an unexpectedly sort of competitive night at the office. Dillian was in charge, but Tete was landing punches and was not buzzing Dillian, but giving him something to think about. He was landing punches. Derek, considering he had Joyce on the floor, considering the fact that he takes such a good shot as well, even now he's got such durability. He's quite a remarkable physical specimen, Derek Chisora. But yeah, I got to be honest, I'd watch a third fight between Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora. I don't know, what do you think? We're talking about two guys at the end of their career, aren't we? But the thing is, you can have two guys who are past it, but you put them together, they can have a fantastic fight. I mean, look at the obvious example. And don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing this to this fight at all. But the obvious example is the third Ali Frazier fight, where both were way past their best. Frazier had been knocked out by George Foreman. Ali had been beaten not only by Frazier, but had lost to Ken Norton. You know, and yet they produced what I'm struggling to think of a better heavyweight title fight I've ever seen in my life. It probably is. You can make an argument for it being the greatest world heavyweight title fight ever, the third Ali Frazier fight. So you get two guys who are past it, put them together, yeah, they can produce a great fight. And yeah, I would have no objection to Dillian and Derek getting it on again. But I don't know. What do you think? Tell me what you think. Comments below as normal. And also hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. If you could do that, that'd be great. And also subscribe to the channel. Please do. And yeah, thank you very much, as always, for all your time, for supporting the channel. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Bye for now.